Right, one of the problems that we used to have with the bridging functions, actually one of the many problems, is that the Pontic occlusal anatomy, or any sculpted anatomy in this tooth, was destroyed in the act of kind of filling in the bottom here. So to get to any kind of reasonably shaped Pontic on the top or on the bottom, it's kind of an extraordinarily time-consuming ordeal, especially for a full contour bridge. You'd have to sculpt back in all the anatomy. So I'll delete this here. I'll take a step back and go back to the segmentation phase. So just like when you were working through the preps and you split out the prep data, you can now select the tissue and make sure you've highlighted the Pontic tooth and define the prep for the Pontic. The prep in quotation marks. So now when you go back here to restoration design, the detail and the sculpted detail from the library tooth is preserved. I'm going to pause this, position it a little better, and then show some more in a second. Right, so once your Pontic is in place, just kind of roughly place it here. You can then kind of tab in here, maybe scale this down a little bit so it starts to approximate the shape that you want. And then you can use this function called Pontic design. And the first proposal we'll give you is an ovate style Pontic. I'll show you how we can work with that in a second. But if that's not what you want, you can select tissue, and it will use that use the prep quote that you selected earlier to lap the tissue. You can set a spacer. It's defaulted to 1 millimeter. You can also adjust that over here in the modifier stack after the fact. So even if you moved on and did other things, you could still adjust that right here. But let's switch back to the ovate option for a second. If we go into wireframe mode and select the Pontic, you can see that if we scale this, the bottom of the Pontic follows. Same if we kind of move it over, move it this way. There's a little bit of a limit to how much it works. It kind of smooths and tries to blend the difference. But you clearly can move it this way a little bit. There you have it. You could design an ovate Pontic, and gives you the flexibility. If I move this tooth, the ball follows along with it, although it looks like it's a little bit lagged, and it will end up in the right place. And if you need to move that sphere around, you can find it as a child of the full contour. And so that's that, and that's pretty much how it works. Sometimes it freaks out and forgets to draw that modifier. There we go, but it's still there. Then you can move on to the other bridging functions, which I'll show you in the next video.